Hello everyone, this is Master here. I'd like to welcome you to my very first video ever. Very first time I'm trying to create one, and I'm doing it on my wonderful Xbox One instead of my laptop because it decided to take a dump last month and now I need a new one. So please bear with me until tax time, and hopefully I'll have some better editing skills. Right now I'm using the capture found on the Xbox One. I'm recording a video that way, then coming into Upload Studio and actually creating a voiceover. And it might be a little tricky sometimes, but it's going to be an adventure. I've been playing FIFA for as long as I remember. I love it. It's a great game. It's one of my favorites, actually. I also play a lot of Football Manager on a computer, and I will kind of compare the two from here and every now and then. So, you know, if you don't agree with me, I apologize. And if you do, then hey, that's even better. Maybe we'll both learn something here. I am going to be creating a German challenge. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap a team, and in this case, I'm going to swap a team from Argentina. So the name of this challenge could possibly end up being the New Germany Challenge with the Argentinian Twist. I like to have a good sense of humor here, so hopefully it'll keep people coming back, and hopefully I'll be doing something kind of interesting for people to actually want to watch to begin with. Once again, apologize for the crudeness of this video, but it will get better. Now, I chose Club Atlético Patronato, CAP. I like that acronym. It's kind of neat. There's three reasons why I picked this team. First off is they had a very low transfer budget, and they fit right into 3 Liga. They're at 1.32 million, I believe, which is not too bad for what I plan to do here. They actually have mild objectives. Yeah, they do have one critical, and it's really not that hard. I think I actually passed both of them here pretty quick. And there's not too many youth carryovers. What I mean is, I want to make this team mine, and while most challenges I've watched on YouTube actually start out with youth academies, I have no problem taking young players from other teams. You know, 17, 18-year-olds, you can find some really good players fairly cheap, and I want to make this team mine and mold this team, and eventually the goal is to have every player on the team from my youth academy and not having to purchase players elsewhere. So that is one of my goals. Just to tell you a little bit about this, I'm going to start in 3 Liga, and the goal is to see how long it's going to take me to actually win the Bundesliga. So I will have to get promoted a couple times, obviously, and to win the Champions League, and primarily by simming, and with mainly young players from my youth academy. I will tell you that here's some of the rules that I'm actually going to try to stick with the best I can. The original team, in this case, all the players that I'm showing you right now on the screen that come with the team, anybody that is over 23, I have to transfer list. 24 and over, transfer list if I can. Now, everybody knows that I can't get rid of every player, not even the first transfer window, and sometimes not even for the first year. For whatever reason, the AI always likes to add a few extra players that I wasn't expecting. I use FIFArosters.com, and I use SoFIFA.com religiously. I love those websites. They're outstanding. SoFIFA is one way that I use to pick what teams I want, and that's where I found Patronato at. And I noticed that there's a few players on there that are not on the team and vice versa. So hopefully I can get rid of all these guys here when I start my challenge. Also, any player that I cannot get rid of, I have to try to swap out in a player deal. And I think I am able to do that, hopefully. I can buy players, but I'm not going to buy anybody that's 21 or over for a few reasons. Number one, when players get about 25, 26, that's the time to cash in on them. I mean, they're not going to get much better than that, and I want to cash in on them and bring some youngsters up, and that's what I do. But if I buy a player that's 21 now, then, you know, by the time I'm going to keep him a couple of years, and then, in my opinion, he's going to be kind of too old for the youth challenge. So that's why I'm going to try to keep players under 20 the best I can. And of course, the ultimate goal is to have all youth academy players. Unfortunately, in this first season, I've actually already started it. It's kind of hard to do, and you'll see why when I get going here. All right, a little bit about what I do. I told you I'm going to be simming most of the games. However, I will play every preseason friendly. A couple reasons for that. Number one, like I said, I play Football Manager, and I was very new. The first time I ever played it, I remember going onto a forum, and because I couldn't sell any of my players. Granted, I had a crappy team, and most of my players really sucked, but nonetheless, I couldn't sell them. So I headed to the forums trying to figure out if I could, find a way to get rid of some of these crappy players and make some money. Well, I did run into a post, and another player was complaining about, hey, I can't sell my players. And some guy chimed on there, and it was funny. I wish I remember his name, but He said, well, who wants to buy your crappy players? You know, they're on the reserve team. You know, play them a little bit, let them get better, get good form, and maybe somebody would buy them. Well, that translates into FIFA perfectly. If you haven't noticed, whenever you get a transfer offer, they always tell you the value. Like, say you have a player that's worth $1 million, and if you transfer it, list him, he's automatically going down about 20 to 25%, even more, depending on how old they are. Nobody, they're all, you know, it happens in real life. You know, people are transfer listed, then hey, we get a good deal. Same thing applies here. So one reason why I play every friendly game is a lot of people might want to use the friendlies as getting their tactics down, getting their formations down, getting what new players onto the team acclimated. Well, I don't really do it that way. I like to play the players that I'm trying to sell and get them in good form, because as you'll notice here when I start the episode 1 here coming up, that you'll notice that I've made a profit in almost all players I have sold for more than their value. That's because I play them in spring training. I'm thinking baseball here in preseason. What better way, you know, I could have 7 subs and I can get, 18 players that I'm trying to get rid of, playing, get their forms up, and make more money off of them. So I'll get into more about that when we hit the actual season 1, episode 1 here. Now, when I play the games, I don't play it like most people do. I don't like taking the entire team and switching from player to player. I lock in as a goalkeeper. A few reasons for this. Back in 2014, when I was playing FIFA, I ran into a guy on a website, and I wish I could credit his name for it, but he did extensive testing on this. And if you've ever played the player career instead of pick a managerial career, it's like be a pro, I believe is what it's called. If you play that, you have a list of tasks, so to speak, that you have to complete. Like, you play a game, you get a point. You play 100 games, you get a point. You play, score so many goals, you get a point, and whatnot. Passing, key passing, dribbles, all that stuff. Career mode is like that with your players. If you're playing as a team, we tend to overuse the sprint button. I mean, good Lord, my right trigger's held down all the time. Well, playing as goalie, my players get to do what they want to do, and I don't really have much control over what they're doing. They tend to get more passes, and yeah, there's some funny things that happen, and I'm going to show some highlights here, hopefully, in this upcoming season, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But that's why I always lock in as a goalkeeper. Plus, it has a different perspective on a view, and I love it. Anyhow, I do play all of my preseason. I will play the first home game after each transfer window, because I just love the debut screens and seeing the really good players that I have. I love it. It's amazing. I'm going to play all finals if I happen to get into there. Now, this first season, I actually swapped out with a team that wasn't in the cup, so I don't have any cup now. I just have the 38 league games, so it should be a quicker season. And I'll also play 1 home game a month. At least to have the videos. Now, I won't video the entire game. Personally, I don't like watching people play an entire game. If I'm going to do that, I might as well play it myself. I will show you the highlights at the end of the game and any special plays that I may have made. And I just think it would go a lot better. So, hopefully here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing the entire first transfer window is going to be 1 episode. I'll show you basically beginning of September what transpired, what happened. My scouting program will be up and running. So, hopefully I'll have a good feeling of where the team's going to be heading from that one. But after that, every episode is going to basically cover a month. I will try to have some highlights of the home game that I played, and that way you can see how my team's progressing. I'm going to have updates on the youth players. I'm going to recap different scouting programs and different games that I played and the goals and whatnot, and update on all the transfers. So hopefully, it would be fairly quick episodes after this initial introduction. I apologize once again for the quality, and I'm probably stammering on here, and I'm nervous, and, I'll get better in time. I hope, that way, hopefully people will keep coming back. Eventually I will have this up on YouTube. So I still have to create a channel. Yes, I know, don't have a channel, old guy here, I'm still learning about some of this stuff, so bear with me. But I'm hoping that this will be an exciting series for everybody, and hopefully later down the line I could actually have input from people that, what team they'd like me to bring over and try a different challenge. Eventually I'm hoping to try maybe a Spanish challenge or a French challenge to get out of my norm of the England football. Now, Manchester City is my favorite team. I just love them to death, and you'll see as I'm playing I get a couple players from there. But I'm getting out of my norm here, so hopefully this will be a very fun challenge. I'm hoping I'll have a really good time, and I'm hoping it won't take me 10 years to, complete all 3 of my goals. So once again, the ultimate goal is to use all youth players to win the Champions League. So we'll see how long that takes, and hopefully you'll enjoy my video and my non-editing skills here. And thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll come back for episode 1, season 1. Thanks a lot, guys. Later.